Most consultancy firms that I know struggle around client acquisition, and they end up with feast-famine sales cycles that keep the business limited in its growth. That's why in this video, I'm going to reveal the system that I've used and that I use with my clients that's allowed me to successively double my sales revenue over 3 successive years and also helps my clients do the same. Now, that system is what I call the Strategic Authority Marketing System. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 phases of building this system, or the 3 elements that are requirements of this, making this system work effectively. Because what I see for most consultancy firms and the way they go about their marketing is that they may apply one of these elements or phases to their marketing, but that really is the reason that the marketing isn't as successful as it should be, because it requires all 3 of these elements to succeed in marketing for professional service firms or consultancy firms. And well, let me talk about what these 3 phases are. And the first phase that I see is really necessary is to have a strategy around authority positioning. If you're not marketing around authority positioning, then you tend to have bland marketing that doesn't get the cut through in the market that it needs. Your market wants to deal with the authority in the market. They want to deal with the thought leader. They want to deal with the firm that has the best solution for them. They're not looking for second best, or they're not looking for average. Most clients are looking for the best solution. They don't want to pay the cheapest price necessarily. And when we come to tenders or to proposals where people are selecting the cheapest price, what they're actually doing is selecting the cheapest alternative out of all of the alternatives that are exactly the same. And that's just like going to a farmer's market where you've got a choice of potatoes or onions or whatever. And for all intents and purposes, every onion is the same quality, or every potato is the same quality, or every carrot is almost identical. So when everything is identical or appears identical, when you don't have any other criteria to choose by, you will choose the cheapest. Now, that's just human nature, and that's exactly how most people buy consultancy services when there's nothing that makes those consultancy firms offering those services stand out from the crowd. So there are really 2 ways to elevate your consultancy firm so it stands out from the crowd. And one is authority positioning. And this is really a personal element of this system where you, as the owner of the business, need to elevate your authority. You need to be the one seen as the thought leader in your market so that people see you as the authority, see you as the go-to person, see you as the person who has the solution for their problem, or the best solution, the most appropriate solution to their problem. Now, the second element, or the second phase of developing this system, is more firm orientated, and that is about focused specialization, or choosing a specialization for your firm that differentiates you from the rest of the market. Now, these 2 elements are necessary, and this is where most firms fall down, because they either will have one, and very seldomly, in fact, do I see firms adequately differentiating themselves from the rest of their competitors. And I think this is a big downfall for most consultancy firms, is that even if you are trying to develop a thought leader position, you're trying to develop authority positioning in your marketing, without the strategic positioning of or differentiation of your firm, what tends to happen is that all of your clients will want you to be the one that does the work. So if you're not taking away that focus from yourself to show that your firm has the capabilities of delivering the services that your clients want, then you're going to get that authority positioning being a trap that you are really roped into by your clients, because they see you personally as the authority. So they will want you to be the one that does the work. The way that I've been able to leverage myself out of that position, once I've created authority positioning around who I am and my thought leadership content, is to then show that my firm has the exact match solution for my premium clients' biggest challenge. And the way to go about that is to make sure that you're differentiating your firm and the solutions by making sure that you have identified who is your premium level client, identified what is their greatest challenge, and then define your firm's operating system or your business model around delivering your ideal client's solution for their biggest problem. Now, when you do that, you differentiate your firm from your competitors, because most firms are on their websites offering all things to all people, almost every service that the consultancy firm of your type will deliver. That's what you're offering on your website. That's what your competitors are offering on their website. And it just really makes you a commodity in your market. So that focus specialization that differentiates your firm from the rest is an essential part of this process. Now, the final step or final phase or element of this process is to systematically create a process of building relationships and building trust with your market, so that it takes you out of the picture as far as delivery or having to be involved. It lowers the labor intensiveness of the marketing process by creating a marketing system that delivers the content that you've created. It maintains the follow-up systems automatically through email or through messaging on the internet, whether that's through YouTube or LinkedIn. There are a number of ways that you need to continually engage with your target market and individually with people in your target market, with your ideal clients, to nurture them, build that trust in the relationship, so that by the time they want to come to you for your service, they are really seeing you as the premium solution. They are seeing you as really the only choice in the market, and they'll come to you pre-sold, almost ready to buy, begging for you to take them on as a client. Now, those are the three phases in building the strategic authority marketing system. And without any of those, or if you're missing any of those phases, your marketing system is likely to be ineffective and maybe taking a lot of effort for very little result. Now, if you want to jump into a deeper dive about and learn more about how to create this sort of process in your business, then I recommend have a look in the description below, and you'll find some links to further education where you can jump in with me to learn more about this process. Now, I want to tell you about three of my clients who have implemented this system. And the first one I want to tell you about is Helene. And Helene ran a remuneration consultancy firm. And when we started to work together, she was mainly, or her firm with 7 consultants on the firm, were mainly involved in transactional type works. So she had a range of clients who would come to her for market pricing around various roles for people they wanted to employ in the market. So they would do the research and identify what was the range in the market for that particular role. Now, that work is very transactional and lower priced. But what we discovered is that Helene and her team had a real capability of creating complete remuneration strategies that enabled a firm to be an attractive employer in the market, in a way of creating a remuneration system that drew people who wanted to engage with that firm because their whole remuneration strategy was superior to their competitors. Now, what we did, and this is really where authority positioning came into effect with Helene, and as well as the rest of the system, but primarily the authority positioning that we created enabled her to attract the attention of some of the premium businesses in New Zealand. And being a New Zealand-based company, she was able to engage some of the top firms, top corporations in New Zealand to engage with them around their complete remuneration strategy. And as you would realize, that level of work, the types of services involved there, attracted top dollar. They were high level strategic pieces of work that were able to be charged at premium prices. So the way that we attracted those clients was having Helene create authority positioning content or thought leadership content, put it out in areas or places that the target market was engaged with, and so they would see that content and see Helene as the authority in the market. Now, we also created the focus specialization and built the system so that every consultant in the firm could deliver those strategic level services as well. So it didn't just come down to Helene who have to do that work. In fact, we were able to extract Helene from being involved in the business at all. So not only did we double the firm's revenue within the first 18 months of working together, but for that year 2 and 3, Helene extracted herself virtually from the business completely so that she could take a year off to bring up or nurture her new baby who'd come along in that time. So authority positioning, or really creating that strategic positioning around authority in the market, is the key to getting the attention of the premium level clients that will pay you top dollar for the work that you want them to have done and they want to have done. The second level, I want to talk to you about Damien Battersby, who was in the IT services industry. What we discovered is that Damien had a whole range of clients. They were doing work across the board, very generalized services in the PC IT market. And when we analysed what they were doing and the profitability of those services, we identified a whole range of services that were almost not profitable. In fact, some of them were costing them money to do because they offered everything to everybody. So what we did is really focused them on a specialist area of the services that were attracting longer term clients, again, less transactional work and more longer term relationships with clients, but premium level services that they were able to really focus on and specialize in, so that they delivered a capability that wasn't really being focused on by their competitors. Every other competitor was able to do this work, so that's not the issue here. Every competitor could do the same work, but no one was really promoting this work as a specialist solution for this identified target market's biggest problem. So when we focus the firm's marketing around delivering that focused specialized solution for this premium level target market, we again doubled Damien's sales within 12 months of starting this process and having that focused specialization so that they were able to, without increasing the staff numbers, and this is the key to this sort of process, it doubles revenues without increasing costs. It creates efficiencies in your business model that nothing else I've seen is anything like it in terms of its value to your firm and the value to your clients, because you're able to create the work with them with so much less pressure internally, so that you're able to deliver an improved quality of service in lots of ways, as well as doing it more efficiently. Now, the third element is the systemization of this process. So building an authority system in a way that my client, Shelley Thompson, was able to deliver and to create through her services in the health area, health industry around patient experience. And Shelley had a very small practice when she first started working with me. It was just herself and a couple of contractors who she engaged from time to time to help her when she got busy. But what we were able to do was really systemize the approach of delivering high quality content to the people that were identified as her target market, and create a structured system so that we were first able to enter the conversation with those people. We were then able to enroll them in ongoing communication, get their details so that Shelley was able to continually communicate with them in a way that helped those clients go through a buyer's journey where they were able to, first of all, start off with identification that there's a problem here that needs to be addressed, and identified potential solution for addressing that problem, and then identified Shelley and her team as the market leaders in that field. And Shelley is recognised as Australia's premium #1 consultant in the area of patient experience, and is now called on to a lot of the or to be a keynote speaker at a lot of the medical conferences and the health conferences around Australia and also internationally. And she's works with a lot of the universities and higher level educational institutions to deliver education around patient experience to a lot of the healthcare providers. So Shelley was able to build a system that elevated her from virtually a nobody, an unknown quantity in this market when she started working with me, to become Australia's go-to person in this field, all because of the systemization of the process. Utilising those first two elements, of course, the authority positioning came, the focused specialisation was there, but systemising the process of delivering the education, delivering the relationship building content, and building trust in her market that she was the go-to person to get the work done. Now, also, the key to this is identifying that if you're struggling with your marketing, if your client acquisition is inadequate, if it's ineffective, if it's inconsistent, then there's a blockage in the growth of your firm. You cannot grow your firm successfully if you can't engage clients consistently. That is just probably pretty obvious. And if you're facing that challenge, then you're like a lot of consultancy firms that I see, where you may have grown your business successfully to the point where it is with a number of people on your team based on consistent referrals, because you do good work. And that's how most consultancy firms, most professional service firms are built, based on referrals on the back of doing good work. And for that, I congratulate you. You are in the game. However, you may have reached the point where those referrals may be consistent, but they're not scalable. And you have no control over when they come or how they come or if they come. And that's where you may be at the point that you want to take your business to the next level. You may want to start to break out of that sales revenue plateau that you've reached and start to grow your business so that it not only becomes more of a scalable, saleable entity, but it frees you from being the person that has to make the business work. And what I see a lot is that you can grow a business where you're the operator of the business, but if you step back, want to take time out or let go of any part of it, it starts to collapse in on itself, because the capability of the business continuing to roll on and to grow is not there, because the systems aren't there, the structure's not there, and just the capability of your team to go beyond just the delivery elements of what you do to grow the business isn't there. That's the next level for a lot of consultants that I help with in my business. And I want to show you how we can start on that process. If you want to check out this next video of exactly how we could work together to build your business into a consultancy practice that is scalable and saleable and works without you. That's where we can get with our business, where I was able to achieve in my businesses, the 3 businesses that I've started, grown and sold, and was able to walk away with none of the normal restrictions that sales of consultancy firms or professional service firms have, where you've got to stick around for 3 years in a handover process. I was able to sell it and walk out with no further commitments, because I'd really built a business that I'd made myself redundant in. Now, if that's of interest to you, then check out the video with the link here, and learn how I work with my clients to achieve that result.